Well, guys, the Orange Man will be taking over the White House in January 2025. And as a Canadian, I don't really have any real opinion for or against Trump. I just hope that the future brings less division in the world, more peace, and more prosperity. So drop a like for no division and peace and prosperity. And let's unpack why Trump loves rappers, but rappers don't necessarily love him. In his first term in office between 2016 and 2020, we saw many of the biggest rappers express their disdain towards Donald Trump, mainly because they viewed his policies and rhetoric as divisive and harmful to marginalized communities. Plus, his unconventional rise and prior lack of experience in politics left many people thinking that he was the wrong candidate to be running America. This is what some of the top rappers in the game had to say about Donald Trump during his first term, and shout out to Jaw Talks Music for the edit.
Blacks that act white, whites that do the dab. Donald Trump is a chump, know how we feel, punk.
Trump saying slick manipulating poor white folks because they ignorant. And Donald Trump is not equipped to take this country over. Let's face facts, cause we know what's the real motive. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. I'm happy Donald Trump became the president. We gotta destroy before we elevate.
Donald Trump, Donald Duck, what the is the difference? Now we stuck in the rut.
I might vote for Donald Trump just to say I did it.
Say my president, Donald Trump.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got.
But while many rappers were frustrated with Trump's rise to power, there were several rappers who Trump had a strange but positive relationship with. Let's start off with the strangest friendship that took many hip-hop fans by surprise, which was between Donald Trump and a rapper who was at the top of the game before Trump ever even thought of entering politics. And that would be none other than Lil Wayne. And you might be wondering, like millions of people were at the time, what brought these two together? What did they gain from their connection, and how did their relationship evolve? Well, let's get into it. So, the connection between Lil Wayne and Donald Trump really began in late October 2020, just before the 46th US presidential election. To everyone's surprise, Lil Wayne posted a photo on Twitter standing alongside Donald Trump. The two were all smiles, giving a thumbs up to the camera, but it wasn't just the picture that made waves, it was the message behind it. In the tweet, Lil Wayne wrote, "Just had a great meeting with Donald Trump. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say and assured he will and can get it done." So what exactly was this Platinum Plan that Lil Wayne mentioned? The Platinum Plan was an initiative that Trump's 2020 campaign aimed at supporting Black economic empowerment and opportunity. It promised billions of dollars in funding for Black communities, including more access to capital, investments in small businesses, and criminal justice reform. This plan got attention, but it was Lil Wayne's endorsement that added fuel to the conversation. Lil Wayne's endorsement sparked a strong response on social media. Some fans supported him, applauding his efforts to support criminal justice reform, but others, however, felt disappointed or even betrayed by his endorsement of Trump, who had often been a controversial figure amongst Black communities. Some people were even confused on Wayne seemingly abandoning the Democratic Party, considering just 2 years before that, Lil Wayne rapped on his 2018 song Dedicate, saying, "We need Barack, man." This song was released 2 years into Trump's first term in office, and it seemed like Lil Wayne was saying here that we needed him out of the White House and we needed Barack Obama back in it. Obama had praised Lil Wayne in a 2009 speech, which Wayne sampled in the outro of that Dedicate song, where he says that we need Barack back. In that speech, Obama had said, "They might think that they've got a pretty solid jump shot or a pretty good flow, but our kids can't all aspire to be LeBron or Lil Wayne. I want them aspiring to be scientists and engineers, doctors and teachers, not just ballers and rappers. I want them aspiring to be a Supreme Court justice. I want them aspiring to be the President of the United States of America." So after saying we needed Barack back in office when Donald Trump was the president, why did Lil Wayne decide to support Trump 2 years later and endorse the Platinum Plan? One reason could be that Lil Wayne saw the Trump administration's work on the First Step Act, which was a bipartisan criminal justice reform bill that Trump signed into law in 2018, which was designed to reduce sentences for nonviolent offenders and allow prisoners to earn credits towards early release. Many celebrities and activists, including Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, had praised the administration for signing this act into law. Lil Wayne, who had faced legal troubles in the past, may have found common ground with Trump on this issue. But at the same time, many people argued that Wayne's support was misguided, as it seemingly ignored Trump's controversial policies and statements on race. Around that same time in October 2020, 50 Cent had also briefly showed support towards Trump, as he cited concerns over Joe Biden's proposed tax plan. He shared a post on Instagram showing potential tax rates under Biden's plan for high-income earners, expressing frustration and saying, "I don't want to be 20 Cent." However, shortly after, 50 Cent retracted his endorsement following the backlash that he received. 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend Chelsea Handler tweeted a response to 50 Cent's initial support of Trump saying, "You used to be my favorite ex-boyfriend." She later appeared on Jimmy Fallon's talk show where she discussed her reaction to his endorsement, saying she had to remind him that he was a black person so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and even offered to quote-unquote pay his taxes if he changed his mind. 50 Cent responded to her comments by tweeting, "I'm a what? Another spin. Cap. F Donald Trump. I never liked him." Additionally, in a later Instagram post, 50 Cent said, "I turned down that $1 million to go to the inauguration in 2017. Why would I just switch sides now?" And in 2024, 50 Cent's sentiments haven't changed, as he claims to have turned down $3 million to appear at Trump's New York rally. He confirmed that he got a call and he had been asked to perform his song Many Men during this year's Republican National Convention. 50 Cent had said, "I didn't even go far. I didn't talk to him about that kind of stuff. I'm afraid of politics. It's because when you do get involved, no matter how you feel, someone passionately disagrees with you." However, when Trump won the 2024 election, 50 Cent posted a picture of him and Trump on Instagram with the caption saying, "I don't care how the fight goes, I'm leaving with the winner. I still don't know what's going on. Congratulations." But back to Lil Wayne, who never retracted his support of Trump, even though many of his fans were confused on why he'd associate with Trump in the first place. Things made a little more sense in January 2021, when Trump's term as president was coming to an end. Right before he left office, Trump issued a series of last-minute pardons. One of the notable names on that list was, you guessed it, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was facing potential prison time due to a federal weapons charge. In December 2020, he had pleaded guilty to possessing a loaded weapon on his private plane, which is a charge that carries a sentence of up to 10 years. But on Trump's final day in office, he issued a full pardon to Lil Wayne, which meant Lil Wayne would avoid jail time. At the same time, he also issued a pardon to Kodak Black, who was released from prison right after that thanks to Trump's pardon. And since then, Lil Wayne has kept a relatively low profile about his political views, and the likely scenario as to why Lil Wayne supported him in the first place was that with most rappers not supporting Trump or what he stood for, the 45th president made a last-minute move to get the hip-hop world on his side before the next election. And he did so by pardoning Lil Wayne from the crimes that he was found guilty of in exchange for a photo op and a positive tweet. I'd say the trade worked out pretty well for Wayne, as it saved him possibly up to 10 years in jail. Whether you love or hate Trump, if you're a fan of hip-hop, you were probably happy that one of the GOATs didn't spend a decade in prison over the small crime of having a firearm, which was most likely for his protection on his private plane. But another rapper who was a lot more vocal of their support for Trump, who showed Trump more love than they showed Lil Wayne's protege Drake, was none other than Kanye West. It all started back in December of 2016, shortly after Trump's election into office. Kanye West met with Trump at the Trump Tower, and Kanye tweeted, "I wanted to meet with Trump today to discuss multicultural issues. I feel it's important to have a direct line of communication with our future president if we truly want change." After that meeting, Trump described Kanye West as a quote-unquote good man. And by 2018, Kanye was a full-on MAGA fanatic, as he tweeted his support for Trump, writing, "You don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother." He shared a photo of himself wearing a Make America Great Again hat and tweeted, "This represents good and America becoming whole again." A couple months later, Kanye actually visited Trump at the White House wearing a MAGA hat and giving an extended televised monologue about issues including prison reform, mental health, and the 13th Amendment. He praised Trump's approach to leadership, saying, "There was something about when I put on this hat and it made me feel like Superman." Trump is on his hero's journey right now. He might have not thought he'd have a crazy mother effer like Kanye West to support him. And with the support that Kanye gave Trump came a massive wave of lack of support, for lack of better terms, and criticisms by Kanye's peers within hip-hop. Snoop Dogg went on The Breakfast Club and said that Kanye's actions were a result of brainwashing, adding that you are what you're around. He said, "I don't give a F about Kanye's support of Trump. I tell him straight up, mother F him. Kanye's too far gone. Some people don't come back. You throw the battery in his back and he go do some stupid stuff." Snoop Dogg's cousin and fellow rapper and fellow Long Beach, California native, Daz Dillinger, echoed Snoop's disdain for Kanye's actions as he got on Instagram and said, "Yo, national alert, all the Crips out there, y'all F Kanye up. You see that mother effer? F him up on GP. We better not even see you in concert. Stay in Calabasas. Stay in California. We got a Crip alert for Kanye." The most interesting critic of Kanye's actions came from T.I., who voiced his disappointment on Instagram after Kanye's White House visit, writing, "This is the most repulsive, disgraceful, embarrassing act of desperation and auctioning off one's soul to gain power that I've ever seen." When Kanye first put on Trump's Make America Great hat, he quickly released a song with T.I. called Ye versus the People, where they addressed Kanye's controversial support for Trump and his decision to wear that MAGA hat. The song is structured as a back-and-forth conversation between Kanye and T.I., representing conflicting perspectives of Kanye's political stance. On Kanye's side, he defended his actions, suggesting that he's challenging the status quo, saying, "Make America Great Again had a negative perception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, gave it a new direction." He emphasized free thought, saying that, "See, the problem with all this damnation, all blacks gotta be Democrats, man, we ain't make it off the plantation." On T.I.'s end of the song, he challenges Kanye's views, expressing concern that Kanye's support for Trump could negatively impact his fans and followers. He rapped, "What are you willing to lose for the point to be proved? This stuff is stubborn, selfish, bullheaded, even for you." T.I. then argues that Kanye's actions might overlook the struggles faced by many black Americans, adding, "You representing dudes just seems crude and cold-hearted." A couple years later, in a 2020 Billboard interview, 50 Cent also reacted to Kanye's support for Trump, saying that, "I think Kanye's in a dangerous area. I just don't know what he's doing." And in that same year, in July of 2020, Kanye announced his own presidential run. In an interview with Forbes, he claimed that he was taking the red hat off and that he was no longer supporting Trump, adding, "I'm not saying that Trump's in my way. He may be a part of my way. And Joe Biden? Like, come on, man, please." In October of 2020, Yeezy went on the Joe Rogan Experience and spoke about Trump again, saying Trump wanted nothing but the best for this country. However, Kanye continued to clarify his decision to run independently, emphasizing his shift away from Trump. And while things didn't work out for either Kanye West or Trump during that election, as Trump lost to Joe Biden and Kanye West received around 1% of the votes from all voters for his independent political party that he comically named the Birthday Party. By 2022, it seemed like both Kanye and Trump were determined to run again for office in 2024. After separating himself from Trump in 2020, by 2022, Kanye decided to meet back up with Trump again as he visited Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence alongside the highly controversial, known white supremacist commentator, Nick Fuentes. After the meeting, Kanye tweeted out a video saying that he asked Trump to be his running mate for 2024 election, saying that Trump started basically screaming at me, telling me I'm going to lose. He also accused Trump of insulting his ex-wife Kim Kardashian at the dinner and said that he wasn't too happy with Kanye, but Trump was quote-unquote really impressed with Nick Fuentes. Trump, on the other hand, had received a lot of backlash for the meeting, specifically because of the fact that Kanye had brought along the white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Trump had to get on damage control after the meeting, so he posted on his Truth Social website, blaming the quote-unquote fake news for the backlash following the dinner, and said that he met with Kanye to quote-unquote give him very much needed advice after Kanye asked to talk to Trump alone. Trump had said that Kanye unexpectedly showed up with 3 of his friends, whom I knew nothing about. He also said he didn't know Nick Fuentes, and he also called Kanye a seriously troubled man and urged him not to run for president and told him it would be a quote-unquote big waste of time. And now ever since then, Kanye has made sporadic comments about Trump, but has largely focused on his own aspirations, with his statements about Trump becoming less frequent and less detailed. He said, Trump has a legacy. He should be focused on protecting that. He's got his way, and I've got mine. We'll see where both paths lead. I still respect what he's done, but I'm not in his shadow. And while Kanye's relationship with Trump was strange to say the least, his relationship with A$AP Rocky was even more unexpected and more strange. And it all started in June of 2019, when A$AP Rocky posted 2 videos to his Instagram account documenting a confrontation in Stockholm, Sweden. The footage showed 2 unidentified young men following A$AP Rocky and his team throughout the city, persistently harassing them despite multiple requests to leave. In the video, you can clearly hear A$AP Rocky attempting to defuse the situation, stating, "We don't want to fight you guys. We're not trying to go to jail." At one point, one of the men throws headphones at Rocky's bodyguard. During the incident, a woman approaches Rocky's group with a serious allegation, claiming that one of the men following Rocky had attempted to assault the woman. A separate video later emerged showing the situation escalating quite dramatically. The footage captured Rocky throwing one of the men on the ground and repeatedly punching him in the head, while other members of his entourage joined in, kicking the man while he was down. Swedish prosecutors later revealed that CCTV footage in their possession showed Rocky's crew punched, kicked, and struck the man with a glass bottle in an attack that lasted several minutes. Notably, there was no footage showing what transpired immediately before the violent outburst. On July 2nd, 2019, Swedish authorities arrested Rocky and 2 members of his team on assault charges. Reports had emerged about the troubling detention conditions that A$AP Rocky and his crew were facing, including claims that they were held in solitary confinement and subjected to what was being described as inhumane conditions. It seemed like Trump quickly caught wind of the case because on July 19, 2019, he spoke about it at the White House stating, "Many members of the African American community have called me, friends of mine, and said, 'Can you help? I personally don't know A$AP Rocky, but I can tell you he has tremendous support from the African American community in this country. And when I say African American, I think I can really say from everybody in this country, because we're all one.'" Now drop a like for my mediocre Trump impression. It might get better as the video progresses, but one of the members of the African American community that Trump might have been referring to was his good friend Kanye West, because Kanye West and his then wife Kim Kardashian had reached out to Trump to get A$AP Rocky freed. That same day, Kim Kardashian had tweeted, "Thank you to Donald Trump and everyone involved with the efforts to free A$AP Rocky and his 2 friends. Your commitment to justice reform is so appreciated." And the situation seemed like it was about to take a positive turn, as on the next day, on July 20th, Trump tweeted out saying, "Just had a very good call with the Swedish Prime Minister who assured me that American citizen A$AP Rocky will be treated fairly. Likewise, I assured him that A$AP Rocky is not a flight risk and offered to personally vouch for his bail or an alternative." The Swedish Prime Minister had replied through his press secretary, Tony Eriksson, who described the call as friendly and respectful. However, Eriksson emphasized that the Prime Minister made it clear that in Sweden, everyone is equal before the law and that the government cannot and will not attempt to influence the legal proceedings. It's important to note that in Swedish court, there is no system of bail, and while courts routinely do release defendants who are pending trial, they don't do so if authorities consider that the defendant is either dangerous, have reason to believe that they would tamper with witnesses or evidence, or believe that the suspect might leave the country. And given A$AP Rocky's financial situation, they believed he might attempt to flee the country if he was released before trial. Now, Trump wasn't too happy with Sweden's decision to keep A$AP Rocky locked up, so he escalated the situation with another tweet that said, "Very disappointed in Prime Minister Stephen Löfven, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, for being unable to act. Sweden has let our African American community down in the United States. I watched the tapes of A$AP Rocky, and he was being followed and harassed by troublemakers, and treat America fairly. Give A$AP Rocky his freedom. We do so much for Sweden, but it doesn't seem to work the other way around. Sweden should focus on its real crime problem. Hashtag Free Rocky." And whether it was thanks to Trump's involvement or not, on August 2nd, 2019, Rocky was released from custody pending the verdict. Trump celebrated on Twitter saying, "A$AP Rocky released from prison and on his way home to the United States from Sweden. It was a rocky week. Get home ASAP, ASAP." And the case concluded on August 14th, 2019, when Rocky was found guilty of assault, but received no additional jail time beyond what he'd already served during his detention. And after his release, A$AP Rocky's reaction to Trump's involvement wasn't necessarily enthusiastic. In his 2021 documentary, Stockholm Syndrome, A$AP Rocky revealed that Trump's intervention actually complicated matters with Swedish authorities. He said, "I was kind of scared that Trump was going to F it up. But then on the other hand, I'm just like, that's what's up, man. You want the most support you could get. And it's like, oh, the president supports you? That's cool." However, Rocky expressed concerns that Trump's tweets and public statements might have had an adverse effect. He admitted by saying, "I'm just like, man, I don't want you to do anything. I was kind of scared that it would jeopardize me being in jail longer." And in a 2019 interview with GQ, when A$AP Rocky was asked about Trump claiming that Rocky had thanked him for his assistance, Rocky clarified his position by saying, "Man, I was just excited to be home. I'm just glad it's over with, honestly. I had no problem saying thank you to the man, especially someone who tried to help me. But personally, and I'm speaking for myself, I don't know any of Trump's intentions or what they are. That's a lot of smoke." And while this short interaction between A$AP Rocky and Donald Trump was a strange entanglement that highlighted the complexities of celebrity, politics, and justice systems, while demonstrating how a street altercation in Stockholm could escalate into a diplomatic situation between two nations, by far the strangest interaction that Trump ever had with a rapper actually had nothing to do with politics and occurred long before Trump ever decided to run for office. In 2011, a young rapper from Pittsburgh would release a song that would eventually entangle him in a bizarre feud with the future president. This is the story of Mac Miller's song Donald Trump, and how a track meant to celebrate success nearly resulted in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. When 19-year-old Mac Miller released Donald Trump in 2011, Donald Trump was still years away from his presidential campaign. He He was instead the very symbol of wealth and success, exactly what Mac Miller was trying to channel in his breakthrough hit. Initially, Trump seemed flattered by the tribute. In November 2012, he personally appeared in a YouTube video addressing Mac Miller saying, "A lot of people are calling me about the Mac Miller rap song. Now, it's named Donald Trump. Maybe you should pay me a lot of money, but it just did over 20 million hits. But that's okay. Besides, Mac Miller, I'm your new mentor." Trump even went further in his praise, tweeting out, "Mac Miller, I'm watching your Ellen Show appearance and I have to say, your flow is incredible. You're the next Eminem. Glad you respect my name." But as the song's popularity grew, so did Trump's demand for compensation. The business mogul took to Twitter, launching a series of increasingly aggressive posts saying, "Little Mac Miller, you illegally used my name for your song Donald Trump, which now has over 75 million hits. Little Mac Miller, I want the money, not the plaque that you gave me. Little Mac Miller, I'm now going to teach you a big boy lesson about lawsuits and finance, you ungrateful dog. Little Mac Miller's next album may bomb. He can't use my name again for sales. Little Mac Miller better have my money when I shake his hand in 2 weeks." Now, Mac Miller initially tried to maintain a diplomatic stance, as in a 2012 interview with Billboard, he said, "Trump is somebody who represents success in a lot of ways. That's what the song was about. It's about making it, hustling, and working super hard to get somewhere." But in a 2013 interview with Complex, Mac Miller's tone had shifted a bit. He said, "I think he's pissed off because he can't use the song in his campaign. That was the first thing I thought, like, man, this guy's really mad about this song. He must have tried to use it and somebody told him he can't." The tension reached a new peak when Mac Miller appeared on Larry King in 2015. During the interview, he said, "He was just being super Trump about everything. You took my name and now you have 75 million views and you're using my name. You need to pay me my money." And then he calmed down. Mac Miller elaborated further by saying, "The thing that was most offensive was that he said, 'Little Mac Miller.' I'm not little, I'm like 5'7". That's average height for America, Donald." Now, this was around the same time that Trump's presidential campaign started gaining momentum. And as it did, Mac Miller's criticism grew stronger. In a 2015 appearance on The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore, Mac Miller delivered a passionate monologue saying, "I only have one thing to say. I effing hate Donald Trump. When he started running for president, I was like, oh F. Because just having my name connected to him at all makes me feel like I just want to apologize to everyone. The messed up thing is, I don't even know if you're evil. I think you're just such an egomaniacal, attention-thirsty, psychopathic, power-hungry, delusional waste of skin and bones." The irony wasn't lost on Mac Miller. During his VH1 Live appearance, Mac Miller reflected by saying, "When we made that song, it was just a joke. Being a young kid, being like, yeah, Donald Trump, that's what it is. Take over the world, money." And then it became very real. Very, very real. In another interview with Billboard, Mac Miller added by saying, "I think we have a responsibility to speak out against things that we feel aren't right. Do I think that my song was a prophecy that made all this happen? No. But it's interesting that the guy who was the symbol of wealth in my song ended up running for president." And as for Trump, his final words on the matter came through Twitter in 2016, when he said, "I signed Mac Miller's song Donald Trump 3 years ago and have yet to receive my royalties. I want the money now." He followed up with one last jab saying, "Little Mac Miller, you'll be hearing from my lawyers. I want my money now." And while this strange interaction seemingly had very little to do with politics, a lot of Trump's recent interactions with rappers were purely fueled by political incentives, with Trump thinking that he could attract a certain vote by bringing up rappers to speak at his campaign rallies. This included the likes of Lil Pump, who Trump mistakenly called Lil Pimp, New York rapper Chef G and Sleepy Hollow, Detroit rapper Trick Trick, and Kanye West's ex-girlfriend and Wiz Khalifa's baby mama Amber Rose. At those same rallies, Trump was making fun of Kamala Harris for having quote-unquote dance parties with Beyonce as she rallied up her own squad of rappers and singers to endorse her. Eminem, who had previously spoken about dumping a hot coffee pot on Donald Trump, had made an appearance at a Democratic rally to introduce Barack Obama. Former Destiny's Child members Kelly Rowland and Beyonce had introduced Kamala Harris at one of her campaigns, which Trump labeled as a dance party with Beyonce. Her rallies also featured performances from Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion, who was twerking on stage, and she had Carti B make a speech at one of her campaign rallies. And Carti B had this to say after Donald Trump won against Kamala in the 2024 election.
"This is why some of y'all states be getting hurricanes. That's all I'ma say."
At this time, that means he needs 23 more.
And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should rappers stay out of politics? Has Donald Trump done more good or bad for the hip-hop community? And how do you feel about him becoming the 47th president of the United States? And how do you feel about my impression of him? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
There's a lot of little nuggets in both of their disses that if it wasn't for these breakdowns, and salute to, you know, guys like this, Rapaholics, because I think they directly get it.